morning students. This is 11th class biology and today we will discuss the homework solutions of lecture 5. This is chapter number 2. So this is NCERT question number 5 that I gave as homework, and the question is, how are viroids different from viruses? So these are the differences. Viroids were discovered in 1917 by T.O. Denier, right? But you know, viruses were not discovered by T.O. Denier. They cause potato spindle tuber disease. Now this is a disease in potato in which potato shape becomes spindle shape. Okay, but the different type of diseases are caused by viruses in plants as well as in human beings. Now viroids are smaller in size than viruses, so this is also a difference. Next is they also lack protein coat. Viroids do not have a protein coat, while the viruses, you have seen the structure of viruses in lecture number 5, right? And you know that a protein coat that is called capsid is present in viruses, but that kind of protein coat is absent in viroids. And also they contain free RNA of low molecular weight. So viroids contain free RNA. Free RNA means which is not enveloped by any coat, while the viruses RNA is enveloped by protein coat, and molecular weight of RNA is low. Here molecular weight of viroids RNA is lower than molecular weight of viruses RNA. Next is question number 7 of NCERT, and the question is, plants are autotrophic. Can you think of some plants that are partially heterotrophic? Means usually plants are autotrophic, but there are some plants which are partially heterotrophic also. Why this partially heterotrophic word is used? It doesn't mean that these plants cannot perform photosynthesis, but for their additional needs of the nutrients, they act as heterotrophs, right? So give some examples of the partial heterotroph plant. And the answer is, the example include pitcher plant, that is called Nepenthes. Okay, pitcher plant is the common name, and this Nepenthes is the scientific name for the pitcher plant. Then Venus flytrap, then bladderwort and sundew plant. So these are some heterotrophic plants. Okay, these plants catch and eat the insects, okay, for their nitrogen requirements. These plants are autotrophic as well. They can perform photosynthesis as well, but for their nitrogen requirement, they capture the insects and eat those insects. That's why these plants are called partially heterotrophic plants. Next question is NCERT question number 8. What do the terms phycobiont and mycobiont signify? So phycobiont refers to the algal component of the lichens, and the mycobiont refers to the fungal component of the lichen. As you have studied in in the lecture number 5, that lichens are made up of two components, algal component and fungal component, right? So the algal component of the lichen is called phycobiont, and the fungal component of the lichen is called mycobiont. Here the word phyco means they can perform photosynthesis. So the part of the lichen which can perform photosynthesis, for that phycobiont word is used here. Okay, so this word is used for the algal component. And the mycobiont word, here myco word is always used for the fungi, because the study of fungi is also called mycology, right? So this mycobiont word is representing fungal component of the lichen. Now algae contain chlorophyll. You know, algae are green and contain chlorophyll and prepare food for fungi. Okay, so algae are photosynthetic and those can perform food. So how the fungi will get benefit from the algae? Because algae will make food for them, whereas fungus provides shelter to the algae. Okay, fungi is providing shelter to the algae because it's a you can say a type of mutualism, okay, mutualistic type of relationship in which both the components get benefit of each other, right? So algae get shelter due to fungus, and also the fungus absorbs water and nutrients from the soil, okay. So that water and nutrient is used by the algae for the formation of food. This type of relationship is known as symbiotic relationship, or you can say mutualistic type of relationship. Now next question is question number 11. Give a brief account of viruses with respect to their structure and nature of genetic material. Also name for common viral diseases. So about the virus structure, you have studied in in lecture number 5 of this chapter. Now let's revise it again. Viruses are submicroscopic infectious agent, okay, and that can infect all living organisms. So viruses are submicroscopic structure. We can see those with the help of high power microscopes, right? Only with high power microscopes we can see the viruses. And the infectious agents, these can cause infections, and these can infect all living organisms including plants, animals, and also human beings, right? A virus consists of genetic material surrounded by a protein coat, a protein coat, as the capsid is present in viruses, and in the center genetic material is present, right? The genetic material can be DNA or RNA. So I gave you some examples also that different genetic material can be present in different viruses. In some there is DNA as the genetic material, while in some there is RNA as the genetic material. Now these are some common diseases caused by viruses. First is AIDS, caused by the HIV virus, okay, smallpox, then mumps, influenza. So these are common viral diseases. Now next question is, organize a discussion in your class on the topic, are viruses living or non-living? Okay, so we will discuss the properties of viruses here that according to these properties, viruses are living or non-living, right? So first, viruses are microscopic organisms that have characteristic of both living and non-living, right? These have characteristics of both living as well as non-living. So we cannot say that viruses are living or non-living, because these have characteristics of both. How? See here, the first thing, the presence of nucleic acid, that is DNA or RNA, okay. So no non-living thing can have the genetic material, but viruses have genetic material. It can be DNA or RNA. So this presence of nucleic acid suggests that viruses are living, right? Because non-living things do not have the genetic material. So this presence of the nucleic acid suggests that viruses are living. But next thing, that have some other characters, such as their inability to reproduce without using the host cell machinery, right? When the viruses are present outside the host cell, those are present just like a inert crystalline structure, okay. Those are present in the form of a crystal only, and like a non-living thing. Those are not able to reproduce without a host cell. Means when those are outside the host cell, these viruses or these crystal like structures are not able to reproduce. But reproduction is the ability of living organisms, right? And one more thing, and their acellular nature, because the viruses do not have a complete cell. These can reproduce only when these enter inside a host cell. So cellular nature is also absent here. So in the first chapter, I told you about the properties of the living organism, right? And the living organisms have a cellular organization. This was the defining property of the living organisms. But here, the cellular nature is absent, okay? Cell is absent. That's why we can say that viruses are non-living, right? So these things, that inability to reproduce and also the acellular nature, indicate that viruses are non-living. Yet the reproduction capability is not a defining feature for the living organism. Still we can include it for the proof that viruses are non-living, right? Therefore, classifying viruses has remained a mystery, right, for modern systematics. So we cannot classify the viruses that these are living or non-living, because these have the characteristics of both. As this chapter has been completed and also the NCERT questions have been completed, so just do the assignment that is based on this chapter, and that assignment has been uploaded on adquark.com. Okay, just complete that assignment today, and tomorrow I will upload the solutions of that assignment. So just match your answers as well, right? And a day after tomorrow, means on Wednesday, there will be test of this chapter, right? So that test will also be uploaded on the adquark.com, and after that next day we will start the next chapter.